I've made reference to several times in the past. I've always intended to get to it, never got around to it. It deals with the Bible's downplay of education. This is a very important topic. It's key to understanding the psychology of the religious mindset. And, a lot of Bible bangers will, of course, deny this, but they can't. It's on every page of this damn book. Does downplay. And even though they'll deny it and say, oh, no, education is important, they actually look down their noses at education. And again, it depends on the context of the conversation that you're in, but you will actually see them flip-flop on this matter, just like with baby killing. If you ask them, do you believe that baby killing is acceptable under certain circumstances, they'll say no. But then when you talk about the instances of God commanding it, oh, well, that's different. It's God that said it. They'll flip-flop. And so it is with this. If you ask them, are you against a person getting an education? Of course they're going to say no. Of course they're going to say that they're not against that. When you change the context of the conversation and you talk about how the Bible, talks about the importance of being educated by God and His Word, isn't that much more important than a secular man-made education? Then they'll agree, oh, yeah, and that type of education is nonsense. You're using the carnal mind and the wisdom of man, which is no match for the wisdom of God. So in that context, they'll downplay education, say that it's not important, that in fact it's garbage compared to the great wisdom and knowledge that you will get from studying God's Word. So again, the flip-flop game. Deny that baby killing is acceptable, agreeing that it's bad in one breath, but then the next breath, well, actually, no, in that instance, it's okay. The same with education, same with a lot of things, actually. Depending on how the subject is approached with Bible believers, they will actually tell you that an education is useless, that it's garbage. Now, to a degree, all of us would have to agree with that. Yes, much of what you're taught today is crap. Your formal education is 99.9% BS, no question about it. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about, the old days when education actually did mean something and did teach you skills for a future occupation, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Even then, Bible believers would have said that education is garbage compared to God's Word. We need to taught by God, His wisdom and His knowledge. So let's look at the Bible's position on education. It's very revealing. The Bible doesn't want you to be educated. Doesn't want you to be educated, because if you are, with a real education, learning how to critically analyze things, put them under the microscope, test them to see if they stand the truth test, the Bible doesn't want you to do that, because the Bible's full of Shiite. And the minute you do undertake such an endeavor, if you ever do, because Bible believers never do that, do they? They'll subject other things to close critical analysis, but not their holy book. Why? That would be blasphemy. That would be questioning God. But if they ever did undertake that initiative and subject that book to close scrutiny, to critical analysis, the damn thing crumbles to dust instantaneously. You will never be able to go back to believing in the BS. Never. It's over. Just like you find out the government's a fraud, there's no going back. It's over. This is why the Bible downplays education. So let's take a look at it, what this damn book says about it. And this is why, guys, the Bible Belt is in an area where there really aren't a hell of a lot of Ivy League schools. In areas where there are Ivy League, our top colleges, universities, and again, I'm not saying that everything taught there is good and wholesome, but nevertheless, these institutions get you to think, not always as critically as they should, but nevertheless, you will see at these prestigious universities, you see a lot of, quote, liberal professors that will get you to think critically about the Bible. And that's good. They don't get you to think critically about your lying-ass government necessarily, although there have been a few professors here and there that do that to some degree. But for the most part, they don't. But they do get you to think critically about the Bible. And I used to think that was something evil, of course. Those evil liberal professors, they don't really believe in God. Well, of course not, because they know the whole goddamn thing is a fairy tale. I used to think that made them evil. No, actually, it makes them pretty damn good. If they get you to think critically, at least about that, maybe not other things, but at least about that, that's good. They're freeing your mind from the enslavement of religious bullcrap. And so, in areas where we have Ivy League schools, guys, religion isn't quite so popular. The more a person is educated and learns to think critically about outmoded fairy tale, mythological, legendary texts, the less popular religion becomes. It's just a natural outgrowth, learning how to think critically. Religion thrives in areas where people are not so well educated. That's just a fact. It's a fact. I'm not saying that there aren't educated people out there that don't fall for the Bible. There are. But in most cases, the more educated a person is, the more they're trained to look critically at things like the Bible, the less you're going to see adherence to that damn book. Critical analysis and Bible believing do not go hand in hand. And Bible defenders, of course, would argue that and say, I think critically all the time. I don't trust the government.